Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are diving into set 8 and let me tell you this, the set is wild. From powerful new synergies to game-changing mechanics, there's a lot to unpack. In this video I will break down every new card, ranking them from the S tier staples to the forgettable fillers. Whenever you're building a competitive deck or you just want to stay ahead of the meta, this is the tier list you don't want to miss. Let's jump in. The first card in our list is Louis, 1 cool duck, 3 cost inkable, 2 free, and while this character is being challenged, the challenging character gets -1. I think those effects are really cool. I don't think there were effects that cards that had this effect before, so I think it's pretty fun to see that. And yeah, but it's like for free cost it's a bit too expensive, or like the card is being played out a bit too late, I guess, because on turn 3 you have a lot of foxes and other stuff you don't want to see when you play this card and when you quest with it. So I would probably put it into C or even D tier at this point. Next up we have Dewey, a lovable show off, 4 ink, 4 vanilla. I mean, it's a vanilla card. I don't think that it's currently necessary in Amber, so I will also put it into the D tier. I know there is like a lot of synergy with other cards, but I don't think that this matters a lot when you play those characters, because I think the synergy is also not really that important. So next up we have Huey. Whenever this character quests, you pay 1 less for the next character you play this turn. This is really interesting because we had those effects before. I think we also had this in Amber already, and it's really hard to tell because Pluto also didn't get played a lot. This character at least has like 2 frees, 2 and uninkable. I think this card is not that bad, and I could see that this card has definitely some plays, like Amber Ruby deck, for example, and so on. So I think you could possibly play this card, and you could also put it into C tier. Next up we have already the first legendary, and it's Goofy, the groundbreaking chef. At the end of your turn, you may remove up to 1 damage from each of your other characters. Ready each character you remove damage from this way. It's really hard to tell because it's hard, like in all those Amber decks, to get damage on your characters and to ready them afterwards. But I think like you have a lot of synergy with the Bolt, for example. You have a lot of synergy with the new Aurora, I think it was, I'm not really sure, but you have like a lot of synergy you can use this card. But I don't think it will be such a good card because most of the cards are removed with 1 hit and not with multiple hits, so I will personally put this into the C tier. Next up we have Antonio Madrigal. 4 cost 2/2, and once during your turn, whenever one of your characters sings a song, you may search your deck for a character card with cost 3 or less and reveal that card to all players, and put that card into your hand and shuffle your deck. This is really interesting because you can play them out and you can already sing like 1 or 2 times with your other characters and search up 2 characters you need. This is really amazing. I think it's cool to see like that we get more and more search engines in our deck, like in different decks. I think the Madrigal deck had a lot of support in this set, and I think this card will see some play. Also it quests for 2, which is really good, and technically you could like get the other Madrigal cards out there and play them later on. So I think this card definitely not that bad, and but I'm like not sure if it had like enough space in this deck, because we had a lot of Madrigal support this time. But I think I could see this like in C tier. Next up we have Minnie Mouse, Daring Defender. It's an Amber Ruby card with Bodyguard, and this character gets +1 attack for each damage on her, and I think this is a really strong card, especially in that color combination. You got a lot of cards like Rapunzel, you're playing a lot of with those damage counters, you're playing a lot with the damage on the characters. For example, if you play the Rapunzel, you can draw up to 3 cards. You can move damage with... I'm not sure if you can move damage in this type of decks, but I'm definitely sure you can like move damage or create damage counters on different characters. And I think this card is a bit underrated. And I think actually that in an Amber Ruby deck, this card is definitely in B. Next up, we have a really interesting card, because I definitely think it's in the wrong. It should be like, if it would just be blue, it would be really good. You have Ludwig von Drake. When you play this character, chosen opponent reveals their hand and discards a non-character of your choice, which is really good. It's like a bare necessity on turn 2, and you also get the character. And now comes the thing: when this character is banished, you may put this card into your inkwell face down and exert it. So technically you could play him out. If he survives the turn, you can play another bare necessity sing with him, and if he gets removed, you get like a free ink. So I think this card is really good. Just the thing here, and that's the main problem, is that's the wrong color combination, I would say. Maybe blue is correct, but like adding it maybe to green as a discard option would be definitely a thing. So I will put this into... Actually, I will put it into B tier, because the color combination is just making it viable for one deck, and it's a puppy deck actually. Or you could also play like Amber Sapphire Aggro, but there you also don't want to play this card. So I will put it into B, but it's really great card. We have like next up we have like Charlotte LaBeouf, 1/3, 1 cost. I will put it directly into D tier. You have much better 1 costs in Amber. Of course she's a princess, but I don't think that matters a lot here. Next up we have Tiana. It is a singer 6 for uninkable, and whenever you play a song, each opposing character gets -1 until the start of your next turn. This card is really interesting because you could play her in Lemon Lime, for example. This would be an option. Bounce with the Muses and so on. This is really strong. And yeah, I think actually this card could be a B tier card, because I don't think it's that bad. In Lemon Lime, it's a great option you have, because until the start of the next turn, the thing is, whenever you play a song, each opposing character gets -1 attack. So technically you don't really need Kida anymore if you play this, because you can play her out. You can like sing a few songs, or like if she stays for 1 turn, it's like already really good. You can also play the songs, so you could like play 2 sudden chills. They are all like -2 already, and then you can like Under the Sea. This is really good, and I think this is the first A tier card. Actually, I think it has a lot of potential. It's not really bad, it's really good. Next up we have Mirabel Madrigal, Curious Child. When you play this character, you may reveal a song card in your hand to gain 1 lore. Really interesting effect. I don't think, as I said, Amber needs other cards, other 1 cost characters at the moment. Maybe in the next set, when the rotation of course starts, you can think about it, but really not that great. I will put it into D tier. Next up, we have a really strong card, and when the red-blue players saw this card, they were in shock. It's Lady Family Dog. It's a 2/2, and when you play this character, you may play a character with 2 cost or less for free. This is so strong. It's really really good. I think that's our first S tier card. Spoiler alert. It just costs 3, is inkable. It quests for 2. You can play a Piglet for free. You can play a Daisy Duck for free. You can play a lot of cards for free. You can think about really amazing cards, and I think this is our first S tier. There's nothing a lot to talk. It will be really good in the Channel Dog decks, and you have another shift option for the big lady. So this is definitely an S tier card, and yeah, amazing. Next up, we have Jim Deere, a bodyguard with 0/4 and costs 2. Just don't think that this card is good enough to be played, so I will just put it into D tier. Next up, we have Jine, Niceland Resident. Whenever this character quests, you may remove up to 2 damage from chosen character. This is really interesting because you could play him in red, Amber, Ruby, but you don't really want to remove the damage on your characters, you just want to remove them with Rapunzel. So I don't think this card is that good and will be in the D tier. Next up, Perdita. While you have a puppy character in play, this character gets +1 defense. I think we all know that this is not the card you want, so D tier. This one is really interesting because it has a shift option, and when you play this character, chosen opposing character gets -1 until the start of your next turn. I think the effect is not really good, and I'll just put it into D tier. Later on we'll see the shift option, which is really really interesting, and you could definitely try to play it. Next up, we have Darling Deer, 5 cost, 4/4, quests for 1, and when you play this character, chosen character gets +2 this turn. For the Channel Dog deck, this card is really good because you're just getting 2 law for free, a character out that has really good stats for the things she does. And if you're able to ready the character again somehow, you can definitely get a lot of lore with it. I'll put this into B tier because it's not really that bad. Next up, we have the Colonel. While you have 3 or more puppy characters in play, this character gets +2 attack and +2 lore. I think the card is pretty okay. The stats are also really good. It's inkable, it costs 5. Really really interesting here, because most of the time you in those puppy decks, yeah, the thing is, I think this card is still C, I'm not sure, but I think there are like better options at the point where you have 5 ink, you know. So put it on C tier, and now we have our next legendary. This legendary is working a lot with bodyguard, so during an opponent's turn, whenever one of your bodyguards with characters with bodyguard is banished, you may reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a character with cost 5 or less, you may play that character for free. Otherwise, put it on the top of your deck. So the bad thing here is that it just works for bodyguard, and that's pretty sad, because you actually, there are like a lot of things. You need to get a character, he has to cost 5 or less, and so on and so on. The cool thing is it's an Amber card and stats are really good, but I don't think that this card will see a lot of play, so I will just put it into C tier because the effect is not that bad, and in the Amber it could like get really really well. Next up, we have an Amber Amethyst card. It's Pua, the protective pig, 2/2 with bodyguard, and when this character is banished, you may draw a card. So the thing here is, if you play in hyper aggro deck, you know there is like already Baloo who's doing the bodyguard stuff, but he has 0 free, and most of the time he's just getting removed and you don't get anything from it. With the poor, he's like at least giving out some damage and you're allowed to draw a card. The bad thing here is you're losing some tempo because you could play blue and get 2 lore. So don't think that this card will be as good as the blue, so I will just put it into D tier. Next up we have Bruno Madrigal. Shift 5, and whenever this character sings a song, you may draw a card for each character you have in play. This card is really strong. If you think about the Madrigal decks that play on curve and you just shift him, play a song, and maybe play even 2 songs and draw like 4 or 5 cards in one turn, which is really amazing. So I will put it into B tier because it will just see play in one deck, and yeah. Next up we have Ka, another interesting card for Lemon Lime. Whenever this character quests, chosen opponent character gets -2 and gains Reckless until the start of your next turn. This card is really good. The thing here is that's uninkable and it has 3/3 at least, so it can't be brawled, for example. But the fact that it gives other stuff Reckless is also really good, because with Lemon Lime you're sometimes just waiting for the Under the Sea, and with this card you can like slow the opponent down for a bit and maybe even try to protect the calf somehow, but I don't think that's possible. So the card is really interesting. I will put it into B tier. And yeah, next up we have another really strong card. It's the Tramp. I told you guys, Chandox is getting a lot of support, and this is another card of it. And we already got the shift target in the last set, and here we go. It's a shift 4, and during an opponent's turn, whenever one of your characters is banished, you may draw a card. This is really good because most of the time, when you play aggressive, your characters will go and will leave the field and will be banished. And this card is definitely the draw engine that Tramp, like the Channel Dogs, needed for sure. And I think this is just another S tier card. I mean, you got this Tramp, you got the other Tramp, you got so many cards you can play with here, and this is just another amazing card. So I will definitely put this into S tier. Next up we have a theme which is getting a lot of support in this set, and after the rotation could see also some potential play. It's the Racer theme. The effect is of King Candy here, 3 cost, 3/2, and when this character is banished, you may return another Racer character card from your discard to your hand. This is really good because you need some of those races to use the locations where you get lore and so on out and play them like easier out and so on. So it will definitely be a card and a staple that will be played in other decks, or just in the Racer deck, of course, but that's why I will put it into C tier, because the Racer deck currently is not really strong and you can't really play it. I mean, you can try it, but it's definitely not a good deck at the moment. Next up we have Wreck-It Ralph. A shift 5, and when you play this character and whenever he quests, so you can with the shift you can do the effect twice in your first turn, you may return a Racer character card of cost 6 or less from your discard to your hand, and if you do that you gain 1 lore. This is really good again for this deck, and also will be currently into C tier, and if the deck gets better I would put it like into A or B, of course, but at the moment I will just put it into C tier. Next up we have a Ward character at 1. It's uninkable, 0/2 patch, and while you have another puppy character in play, this character gets +1 lore. This card is not that bad, but the thing that it has, like, It's uninkable, and it's again an Ember Sapphire combo. It's really hard to tell, and will definitely not see a lot of play, maybe in the puppy decks. So I would go it into C tier because maybe a good card for the puppy decks. Next up we have Rolly. He has support, and when you play this character, you may put a character card from your discard into your Inkwell face down and exerted. Another ramp engine for the puppy deck, so I will also put it into C tier at the moment. It's not a bad card, but a puppy deck is not really the best deck. You exactly the same with the races. They're just not viable at the moment, but maybe we'll see play in later sets because the rotation is starting. And yeah, we have another Perdita here, shift 4, and when you play this character, you may put all puppy characters cards from your discard into your Inkwell face down and exerted. I think this card is really, really good because if you lose a lot of, which probably happens, I never played puppies to be honest, but I will think about like if you have 2 or 3 puppies in your discard already and you play her, shift her on 4, you putting them all into your Inkwell, you have like a lot of ink you can work with. I think this card is not bad and also would see play if the deck would be viable. Next up we have Pluto, 2/7/6 inkable, and while this character has no damage, he gets +2 attack and gains support. So when you play him out, you can quest, give someone else 4 strength because he has no damage. And yeah, this is interesting. It's an Amber Steel card. I don't think Amber Steel has space for this card, so I'll put it into C tier at the moment. Next up we have a really interesting card, Bolt 0/4, and this character enters play exerted. Now comes the thing. I think if it would cost like 2 and would be uninkable, this card would be menace and it would be really, really strong. But at this point, I don't think this card will see any play. Or maybe? I'm not sure. Most of the time you want to play a 3-cost Ariel, but if you're like able to... Let's go back here. Let's go back here. I have to change my mind here. If you play Cinderella on turn 1 and maybe Ursula on turn 2 and you are able to remove a lot of his characters, this card is really strong. I think I will put it into B tier. It's a really good card, and if you think like this, it can create a new way of like Diggy Hole, just even a bit more faster than this. Instead of like playing Daisy on turn 1, you play this on turn 3 and you get the value back, if you know what I mean. So I think this card is really, really good, especially if you are able to let it like survive for like 2 games, 2 rounds. Of course it can be brawled, but like with any other color combination or like with any other color than Ruby, this card is like really, really good and like tough to remove. As we saw against like for example the Chernodogs, they all have like a 4 behind them, and 4 is like a number where Amber Steel is having a lot of problem with. Like if character costs like 3 or so, it's no problem, but 4 is like really, really hard, especially if you don't want to do the trade here. Okay, next up we have Rhino, the power hamster, shift 2, that's what I talked about before. 4 cost, shift 2, inkable, and while this character has no damage, he gains resist 2. I think this is really, really good because you can remove a lot of characters with him without him being damaged. I think this card is not that bad. I will also put it into B tier. And now we have Antonio's Jaguar, and when you play this character, if you have a character named Antonio Madrigal in play, you gain 1 lore. I don't think that's a really good card. I'll just put it into D tier. Now we have a Calhoun, 4/5 with bodyguard, and when this character is banished, gain 1 lore. A bit like a Baloo effect, but a bit not 2 lore, just 1 lore. So I don't think this card is that great, so I'll put it into D tier. Now we have a really good card, another good card in this deck. It's Lady, and when you play a character, this character gets +1 attack. And while this character has +3 or more, she gets +2 lore. If you think like this card is really, really good. You're also playing a lot of characters that had like 0-4, 0-3. So I personally would also put this into S tier. It's a really, really good card. Now we have Alma Madrigal. I think when I saw this card, I thought it was really interesting because once during your turn, whenever one of you or more of your characters sings a song, you may ready those characters. So you can sing, for example, the new Sing Together, which will come soon, I guess. You do a Sing Together when everybody like sings, they will be made ready again, then you can go quest with all of them because you don't have any restrictions with this card. So put it into B tier because I think, as I said, Madrigal got a lot of support, and I think it's actually a bit more viable than those Racer decks and the Puppy decks. Next up we have Clawhauser, Bodyguard and Singapore. Interesting card, but I don't think you want to play him on turn 3, so I'll just put it into D. Now we have a Joey, a blue pigeon, and whenever this character quests, you may remove up to 1 damage from each of your other characters with Bodyguard. Also, I don't think this will see a lot of play. And now we have the Donald Duck. For each item named the Nephew's Piggy Bank you have in play, you pay 2 less to play this character. When you play this character, your other characters gain and draw a card this turn. I don't think this card is really good. I just can't see where this card wants to go, so I'll just put it in the D tier. Now we have a Dalmatian Puppy, the first reprint here. I also don't think that this card will see a lot of play, so yeah, just into D tier straight up. Now we have Candy Drift, draw a card. Chosen character of yours gets +5 attack this turn. At the end of your turn, banish them. I think that's a really interesting card. I will also put it into C tier because, again, those candy decks are not viable at the moment, but could see play in the future. Next up we have a 1-cost action, and you can remove up to 3 damage from chosen character or remove up to 3 damage from each of your characters with Bodyguard. I don't also think that this card will see a lot of play here, so I will just put it into D tier. Next up we have a 4-cost song, only so much room, and it's not a song, it's just an action. Return chosen character with 2 or less attack to their player's hand and return a character from your discard to your hand. Interesting card. I don't think that you need this card in the channel deck, so I will just put it into C tier, but the effect is not that bad. Now we have like one of my favorite artworks here. It means no worries. It's a Sing Together 9 and return up to 3 characters from your discard to your hand, and you pay 2 less for the next character you play this turn. Interesting card. Sadly, I don't think it will see a lot of play, so I'll just put it into D tier. Now we have Trials and Tribulations. It's also song 2-cost, and chosen character gets -4 until the start of your next turn. Also really good for Lemon Lime, where you can like start bouncing again. And I think you could put this into B tier. It's a really good card for, as I said, for the Lemon Lime decks. Now you have a 2-cost Unink, and if you have a character named Donald Duck in play, you pay 1 less to play this item. Chosen character gets -1 attack on the start of your next turn. I think this card and the synergy are not that good, so I'll just put it into D tier. Next up we have the Palace Guard. It's 1/4, 1-cost character with Vanish. I don't really think that this card is so bad as you think it is, because it has 1/4 and you have to be able to remove it with Whitish most of the time, so I don't think this card is that bad. You can also play it in like Ruby Amethyst, for example. But Amethyst has already so many good cards, so many good one drops, so I'll just put it into C tier. Next up we have Drun Challenger 4 1/5, so it's alright, I guess, but I don't think it would see a lot of play. Then we have Madame Medusa. When you play this character, you may deal 2 damage to another chosen characters of yours to return chosen character with cost 2 or less to the player's hand. And here comes also again that dealing damage and maybe moving it with a bell or so. I think this card is really interesting. And with the bounce effect, you also have like again the bounce in next set with Ruby Amethyst, not with the Madame Mim and so on, but with, for example, Madame Medusa and you're bouncing your opponent cards, which was more of a green thing at this point. Yes, yeah, I don't think it's a bad card. I do think there are like better plays at turn 3 at the moment with other decks, so but I will put it in the B tier because when you play against aggressive decks, this card is not that bad. Next up we have a card a lot of people are talking about. It's Hades, 3/6, 7 cost unink, and when you play this character and whenever he quests, you may deal 2 damage to another chosen character of yours to draw 2 cards. At the moment this card will not see a lot of play, I think, because there are better options at this point. Also at 7 you can also like play B prep or something, but he can also sing B prep, which is really interesting. At the moment I will put it into C tier. I think a lot of people don't know how hard it is to get to 7 ink, and also it's unink, so it's really hard to play it in your deck, so I'll just put it into C tier, but there is also a lot of potential to go up to A tier at this point. Next up we have Lena Sabering. It has evasive, is an Amethyst steel card, and when you tap it you can deal 1 damage to a chosen character. I think it's an interesting card, but I don't think it will see a lot of play. I will actually just give it to D tier. Next up we have a really interesting Abu, 3/7, 6 inkable. It of course has vanish as most of the Amethyst steel cards, and whenever this character quests, gain lore equal to the lore of chosen opposing characters. I think that this card is like a great counter against, for example, Tamatoa. It's a great counter against all those aggressive decks, I would say, because he's also like a big body. Also with the new vanish cards you also got some synergy within, so I will definitely at the moment maybe put it into C tier, but it could go to B tier also, so something between B and C. Next up we have Bruno Madrigal, and when you play this character, chosen opposing character can't ready at the start of the next turn. It's more like, yeah, like an Elsa effect. Can say so, but I don't think it's like a DQ card. It's like, it's decent, it's C. I can see like why this card could be played in some Madrigal's decks, so yeah. Also you have like the shift option here. Next up we have another really good Amethyst card, and whenever you draw a card, this card gains +1 challenger. I think this card is really interesting, and I could definitely see it into B tier. It's really good. Like, the only reason I'm not giving it to A or S is because there are a lot of good Amethyst cards, and I don't see if it will make the cut, especially at those 1 drops. Next up we have a 4-cost Cusco, board royal, and 1/3. When you play this character, you may return chosen character, item, or location with cost 2 or less to the player's hand. I think this card is not really that good, so I just give it to D. Now we have Megara, part of the plan. Well, you have a character named Hades in play. This character gains +2 challenger. Nothing interesting here, just give it to D tier straight up. Or the thing here is it costs like 3, which is pretty good, so let's say C. Next up we have Yelana, 2/3, and when you play this character, chosen character gains challenger +2. It's a bit like the Jafar before we had last set. Also, Quest for Two. It's not a bad card. I will put it into maybe something between B and C tier. I'll just go for the C tier because we already have a Jafar, and Jafar has like this shift option and so on. So I'll just give it into C tier, but it's not a bad card. Next up in Amethyst, we have a Rider. 3/4 character, costs 4 and has evasive. Nothing special. We'll just put it into D tier. Then we have like a Bambi 3/2. Also just put it into B tier. Or you could maybe put it into like C tier, but I don't think there are like a lot of cards that were or decks that needed 2 cost with 3/2. Then we have Poe the Spell 3/4. Just put it into D tier, nothing special here. Also the same with Madame Mim. Also when you can see she has like a shift option later on. Now we have Elsa. You can pay 1 ink to choose and discard a card and exert chosen opposing characters. I think these costs are a lot. You have to like pay 1 ink, you have to choose and discard a card and so on. So just put it into D tier. Another interesting legendary here, it's Pinocchio. Once during your turn, whenever you ready this character, you may draw a card. Think it has like some interesting play you can do here. You can like read it multiple times maybe somehow. The cool thing, it also has like evasive, it quests for 2, but I don't think it's a good legendary, so just put it into C tier. Now we have an interesting Jiminy Cricket, evasive, 1/1, has costs 2 ink, and while this character is exerted, opposing characters with rush enter the play exerted. This is a really interesting card, especially for those hyper aggro decks. You have a card that like disallow your opponent to play a rush character because you're just exerting it and it gets useless instantly. So you have to first remove the Jimmy Cricket, which also has evasive when he's exerted, and then you can like try to remove him. But you have to remove him with a card, with a song for example, or with a character you have out. But you can't for example play Elsa because Elsa will be tapped in. So this is a really interesting card, and I think this could be actually an A tier card. It's not that bad. Next up we have Amethyst got a lot of interesting cards. I don't mean they're like really good, but they're like really interesting, because when you play this character, gain 1 lore, pretty cool. 3 cost unink, 1/1, quest for free, and when an opponent plays a character, return this card to your hand. This is cool. The thing here is it costs 3, it's uninkable. Of course you can reuse it, but if your opponent is just playing one character after another, or even removing your Bambi with Let Storm Rage On or something like this card gets pretty useless. So I'll just put it actually into D tier, because I don't think that this card will see a lot of play. Now you have Monstro, Rush, 6/8, choose and discard a card, ready this character. He can't quest for the rest of this turn. This is a really strong Rush character. I still think that it costs too much. You can just be prep and remove the whole bot like this. So just put it into D tier. Next up we have 2 uninkable, 2 free. You can move 1 damage counter from this character to chosen opposing character, which is also really interesting, and I could see like some potential play again. A lot of cards now have like those move 1 damage counter in their text, so I think that this archetype of decks will get a lot of play in the future, so I'll just put it into C tier. Now we have Magician the Spell, evasive, and when you play this character you may return another chosen character of yours to your hand to draw a card. Just think that this card is not really good. I don't see any decks where I would play this card. Next up we have Cusco. This one is really interesting because you can shift forward, so you can play it on the 2-cost Cusco, for example. And when you play this character, each opponent chooses one of their characters and puts that card on the bottom of their deck. Then each opponent may draw a card. I mean, if they just have like one character in play, you can just shift, play him, and like remove a shark, for example. But the thing here is that your opponent is also again allowed to draw a card, and this is a thing I don't really like. You can combine it with like Sudden Chill or Hypnotize to like instantly remove that card, but I think could put this into B or C. I'm not really sure. Me definitely, I would put it into C tier. Next up we have Yzma, and when you play this character, if you have a card named Pull the Lever in your discard, you may search a deck for a card named Wrong Lever and reveal that card to all players. Put that card into your hand and shuffle your deck. So you will see a lot of like synergy with all those three cards, with Yzma, with Pull the Lever, and with Wrong Lever. I think those cards are really interesting. I just don't think that this color combination has enough space at the moment for this card, so I'll just put it into C, or like this card personally I would just put into D tier. Now we have a really interesting Madame Shift 2. When you play this character, banish her or return a chosen character of yours to your hand. This card is a Shift 2, it's really strong at the moment. You can just play Madame Snake again, bounce that Madame Snake, or a shift on the snake and bounce your 1-cost character, and on turn 3 you have like a 6/5 character, which is really strong. I think personally I would put this into B tier because I'm not really sure if you have the space for the Onyx. But this is definitely a card here that will see a play, because when you play this character, you may deal 2 damage to another chosen character of yours to give that character Challenger +1, and when this character is banished the challenge, return this card to your hand. This is a really interesting card because you can, like, for example, if you have like a snake or something like this out, or a fox or some of those cards, you can attack, remove them from like attack. You may, for example, with a rabbit, you draw a card with the rabbit because he leaves the field and he goes back to your hand, which is really okay. So I will just put this into B tier or maybe even A tier. I'm not really sure, because it's Unink, I will just put it into B tier. Next up we have the first Blurple card, the Blue Fairy. It has evasive, support 2/2, nothing special. I'll just put it into D tier. Nothing interesting here because in Blurple most of the time you want to ramp on turn 2, so this card will not see a lot of play. Shift 4 and Anna and support, and whenever this character quests, if you have a character named Elsa in play, you may draw a card. Nothing special here, so just put it into D tier. Now we have again Amethyst Steel card, Sultan, and whenever one of your illusion characters quests, exert chosen opposing character. This is really good. It's 5 cost Unink, that's the big problem here. It has 5/5, which is also really good. The thing here is it has Vanish, so I don't know, I will just put it into C tier. I think this card has a lot of potential to be played. Now we have an interesting card. We have Jafar, High Sultan of Lorcana. This card is like the main card in the whole set, and whenever this character quests, you may draw a card, then choose and discard a card. If an illusion character card is discarded this way, you may play that character for free, and here comes the thing. I previously gave him to D, but with this card in combine, I can give it to B tier, and this will be definitely a card. I will put it into S tier, not because it's the best card right now, but it creates a whole new concept of play and a whole new deck type, and if a card creates a new deck type, you know it's a good card, so just put it into S tier at this point. Next up we have Camilo Madrigal, and when this character is banished in a challenge, return this card to your hand. Also really interesting, maybe okay for the Madrigal decks. We'll just put it into C tier. Now we have Flower, and whenever you play another character, look at the top card of your deck, put it on either top or bottom of your deck, just put it into D tier, nothing interesting here. Then we have the Forest Duel. Your characters gain Challenger +2, and when this character is banished in the challenge, return this card to your hand. Interesting card, sadly it costs a lot, so I'll just put it into D tier. Again, free cost action, they never come back. Effect, up to 2 chosen characters can't ready at the start of their next turn. Really good card, really good against those hyper aggro matchups. Can see that this card could be played, and I'll put it into C at the moment, but I think it's not that bad. Next up we have a really interesting Sing Together 9, and for each character that sang this song, draw a card, gain 1 lore. A lot of potential here. First of all, you have the madrigals. As I mentioned, you can like sing with all of them, and you can have that grandmother ready them all, and they could technically sing that card again if you draw it again, and you can do this multiple times, so you have like a really cool and interesting loop you can create with this. And you also can quest afterwards too. You gain lore, you draw cards. That's really interesting. Now comes the cool thing. If you play this in, I don't know why this isn't like a dual color card, because if you play this with Ursula, you can play it twice. So the song is being played twice, so you draw, for example, let's say four cards and gain 4 lore, and you sing it again, so you draw 8 cards and gain 8 lore, which is really, really strong. I personally see this card as like an A tier or even S tier card, because the card is really, really strong. I'll put it into A tier because it's 9 cost unink. Next up we have Pull the Lever. Choose one, draw 2 cards, so each opponent chooses and discards a card. It's a bit like Hypnotize. The thing here is you don't draw a card after you discard it, but the thing is that you can like draw 2 cards instead sometimes. It's really good. So I will put this into like A or B tier. I think it will be like more of an B tier card. But I see this card is really strong, and you can play it in the next discard decks, for example. Especially I'm currently playing a lot of green purple, and I can say that this card is like a contender to be played instead of the Hypnotize at the moment. Next up we have Into the Unknown. Straight away it's an S tier card. Put chosen exerted character into the player's inkwell face down and exerted, and it's a song, and you can play it with the free cost. You can play it with Bell, for example. So I will put this into S. It's a really, really great card. Then Everybody Got a Weakness. Move 1 damage counter from each damaged character you have in play to chosen opposing character. Draw a card for each damaged counter moved this way. Again, those damage counters being moved is a new, like not a new, but getting a lot of support. So I think I will put this card currently into C, but it could be B or A tier at the end. Next up we have items, Scarab. You can pay 2 ink and exert it to return an illusion character from a discard to your hand. Really interesting. I see you have a lot of vanish support. I will put into C tier. Don't think it will see a lot of play currently, but later on, of course. Next up we have Ice Spikes, again a purple card. When you play this item, exert chosen opposing character, so it has an on-play effect, which is really interesting, and you can pay 1 and ink and exert it to exert chosen opposing item. It can't ready at the start of its next turn. Also really great. You can like stall the game if your opponent has like a lucky dime out or something like this, so I think it is a C tier card, not that bad. Next up we have a green vanilla card, 3/4, costs 3, nothing special here. I would just put it into D tier. Here we have Basil, very interesting card, and when you play this character you may return chosen character to their player's hand, and whenever this character quests chosen opponent discards a card random. I think random discarding is really strong, and I think if this card isn't being played in any green steel, green purple or lemon lime deck, I think it will see definitely some play in green blue, because you get to 7 very easy. And actually I will put this into something between A and B tier. I really like the random discard effect here, and that's why I will give it to A tier. Next up we have another really strong card here, the Tramp. When you play this character, chosen character gains ward until the start of your next turn. I think it's not as strong as the other Tramps and ladies we got, but I think it's definitely still an A tier card here. Next up we have Chaka, and when you play this character, if you have a character named Tipo in play, chosen opposing character gains Reckless during the next turn. Don't think that this card is that good, and also the Tipo card is also not really that good with 2/2 and having evasive. So just put both into B tier. Next up we have Build a Lizard. While another character in play has damage, this character gains evasive. Also nothing special here, we'll just put it into D tier. When you play this character you may deal 2 damage to chosen damaged character. The problem here is that you are just allowed to deal damage to chosen damaged character, not a character that has no damage on him, so we'll just put him into D tier. I don't see any play for this card. Then we have Fred with a really cool ink shift option. We will see that later. But when you play this character you may banish chosen item. It's a 2/3, it quests for 2 and it has 3. Don't think that this card is too bad, and I think with the shift you can definitely put this into B tier. It's a playable card, it's not that bad. Also after the rotation it's really good. Then you have, if you have a character named Don Karnak in play, you pay 1 less to play this character. Nothing specially, I don't think that this will be played a lot. Then we have Dale, just putting it straight to the D tier. And then we have a really interesting card, the Lewis, the Alligator. This character enters play exerted. When you play this character, chosen opposing character gains Reckless during the next turn. So you are like forcing your opponent to attack this alligator sometimes if he can't sing a song. I think that's a really nice touch, and I think the card is also not bad from the stats, and it's inkable, it's really good. I will put it into A tier, it's not bad. Then we have Napoleon, another vanilla card, we'll just put into D tier here. Then we have a really interesting card people are sleeping on, it's the Chip. When you play this character, chosen opponent chooses and discards a card. Cost 4, it's a 3/2, the stats aren't that good, but I think this card will see a lot of play in some discard decks, because the thing we needed was like a 4-cost character that discards your opponent, for example in green steel, and I think this card perfectly fits in this position. I will put it into A tier or maybe into B tier because the stats aren't really that good. Then we have the shift I was talking about from Fred. Shift 5, 5/6. And whenever this character quests, reveal cards from the top of your deck until you reveal a flatborn character. That's really amazing. Put that card into your hand and shuffle the rest to your deck. So you can like search for your finishing characters, and I think this card is really interesting. I will just put it into B tier. I think this card could see play in for example Emerald Steel with Morph and so on, so definitely a really cool card here. Then we have Gadget, Hack and Rank, and when you play this character, if an opponent has more cards in their hand than you may draw a card. It's okay, but I don't think it will see a lot of play. Then we have our first green legendary, it's Raya, and whenever this character quests, you may pay 2 to ready another chosen character. I think the stats are really good, cost 6. The thing here is you have to pay those 2 extra and ready another chosen character. I don't think it's quite well right now, but maybe later on. Maybe you can play it in like a green, red-green combination, for example. So I'll just put into C tier. I'm not really sure about this card. Next up we have Rapunzel, evasive, and whenever this character quests, shows an opposing character can't quest during the next turn. Don't think that this card is really good, so I'll just put it into D tier, honestly. Don't think it's worth to play it for 5. Then we have Flynn Rider. Whenever this character is challenged, the challenging player may choose and discard a card. If they don't, you gain 2 lore. Really interesting here. Hard to tell. It's 4 unning, it's 1/4. It can be easily removed by Brawl, by any songs, and so on. And worst thing is, like, maybe you're getting your 2 lore from him, and that's it. So just put it into C tier. I'm not really sure about this card. Then we have 2 Inkable Dormouse. When you play this character, you may put 1 damage counter to on chosen character. That's a really interesting and really good card because, as I mentioned, like, Ruby's playing a lot with those moving damage counters and so on. And if someone has damage counters on, he can't attack, for example, as we had in the last set. But I think this card is not that bad. Also, the stats aren't really that good, but putting 1 damage counter on a character is not really bad. So I will just put it into C tier. Then we have Alice, shift free. That's really interesting. And whenever this character quests, put 1 damage counter on each other character. That is really, really strong if you think about it. You're putting a damage counter to any character on the field, also to your own. And I think if you combine this with the other Queen of Heart cards, it's really amazing. So I will just put this actually into like an A tier card. In this deck, it will be probably played a lot. Then you have Queen of Hearts, where there are 4 or 5 or more characters with damage in play. This character gets +3 lore, so this card can quest for 6. Really interesting. You combine it with the Alice, that would make absolute sense, but pulling this combo off is, I think, really, really hard, because you have to have the shift, you have to have the Queen of Hearts, and so on. So just put into C tier, but really good card though. Then we have Hero Hamada. You can untap into ready chosen Floodborn character. I think that's a really interesting card. There are also no restrictions for it. Just the 1/3, that's a bit hard. But still, I would put it into like C tier. It's not a bad card, and the effect is also not that bad. Then we have a Shift 4 Go-Go Tamago with evasive, and when you play this character, if you use Shift to play her, you may put chosen character into the player's inkwell face down and exert it. So it's a let it go if you shift her. I think that's really strong. I think this archetype with green-blue being the shift deck is getting more and more support, and I really like this. And the effect is also really good. The only problem I have is, like, it costs 4 and it's a shift 4, so I will put it into C tier, sadly. But if it would have some better stats, or the shift would be on 2, it would be amazing. Then we have Don Karnak. It's an evasive character with 3/2, and whenever you play an action that isn't a song, chosen opposing character gains Reckless during the next turn. Of course, it's a pirate, and of course they're trying to make Emerald Steel the new pirate deck, but there is still not a real draw engine for this deck, so just put into C tier. Not a good card. Next up we have Captain Nook, which is a really good shift. It's a shift 3 for 4/5, quests for 2, and now comes the cool effect. Once during your turn, whenever an opposing character is damaged, your pirate characters get +2 attack and gain resist to this turn. I think with this card you can wipe your opponent's board pretty easily, or for example, use all those effects with the pirates and combine them. And I think I will put this into B tier because it's also playable in a non-pirate deck. If you play, for example, a Smee or something like this, it's really interesting. Then we have Maui, another Emerald Steel card, and whenever this character is banished, choose 1. Put 2 damage count on all opposing characters, really strong. Banish all opposing items and banish all opposing locations, one of those 3. I think it's a really good card. I love when you're like allowed to choose 1. I loved Anna. I think this card will definitely see some play. I will put it into A tier, not into S tier, because I don't think it will be played like 4 times in the deck. More like 1 or 2 of them. I can see that card being played 1 or 2 times in the main decks, so yeah. Next up we have Honey Lemon. Whenever you play a flat-born character, if you use shift to play them, you may return chosen character to the player's hand. I think shifting characters and then having this card also out is really hard, so we'll just put it into C tier. And next up we have Jock, and when you play this character, if you have 3 or more other characters in play, gain 2 lore. Another really cool card for the Channel Dog deck. Think you could definitely play this card. I don't think it's a bad card because you gain 2 lore very easily in this deck and just doing more tempo, and I think that's a great card. I will just put into B tier. Next up we have Archimedes. 2/2 character, costs 3, is inkable, and when you play this character you may banish chosen item. Another banish chosen item effect. Really interesting here. And during your turn, whenever an item is banished, you may draw a card and choose and discard a card. Also really interesting. I don't think that this card is like that good. I will put it into C tier. If any item decks get really good, I think Archimedes will be played. So yeah, next up we have He Who Steals and Runs Away. Banish chosen item, draw a card. Pretty much the same thing here, C tier. Next up we have a really good card, I think. It's Sing Together, Stopped Chaos in its tracks. Sing Together 8 and return up to 2 chosen characters with 3 attack or less, each to their player's hand. I think for Lemon Lime this card is really good. And now you can start like playing Lemon Lime also to Bend to My Will, so you can like discard his whole hand with it. So I think this card is really interesting, and I will personally put it into A tier because it's also an inkable, which is really good. And maybe with this and with the Kida you have like a deck now where you don't need Under the Sea. Or you can like split it up to like 2 of them and 2 Under the Sea, and maybe like 2 Under the Sea, 1 Bend to My Will, something like this. But this definitely AT card here. Then we have a Wrong Lever. Choose 1 return chosen character to their player's hand, or put a card, then pull the lever from your discard on the bottom of your deck to put chosen character on the bottom of the player's deck. So if you have the pull the lever card, the discard card, you can play this one and put his character under his deck, which is really cool, and I like the synergy here, and I think this is a B tier card. So when you play this card, for example in green purple discard, you can like remove the Hypnotize, add the pull the lever, and add this card, so you have like a perfect synergy for it. Next up we have Undermine, to cost inkable action, and chosen opponent chooses and discards a card. Chosen character gets +2 this turn. Really cool card. I can see a lot of new discards here in this set, which we missed in the last few sets, and they're also like all really playable. I think this card is really good. If it would be a song, it would be very strong, because your opponent has to discard a card and you're giving someone +2 strength, so you're also adding like value to the board. I think this card is really good. Like the only reason I would not play this because you have to play Ruby with the Emerald card, but still I see this as like a B tier card for sure. Next up we have Walk the Plank. 3 uninkable, and you pirate characters gain tap to punish chosen damage character this turn. Interesting card. I think because of an unink I will put it into C tier. Nothing special here. Then we have the Campers. Whenever you play a character, if you use shift to play them, they get +4 this turn. I just straight up put this into D tier, nothing special. Then we have the Jewel Collar, and whenever one of your characters is challenged, you may put the top card of your deck into Inkwell face down and exert it. The thing here is you can play this on turn 2. On turn 3 you could play the Alligator, who gives someone reckless and comes tapped into the game. And you already have like the value out of this item actually. So this item is really cool, and I will put it into B tier. Then we have another Racer, and when you play this character, each opponent loses 1 lore and you gain 1 lore, so a bit of a drainer here, so I will just put into C tier. Then we have the Honest John, another vanilla, I will put this into D. We have Gear Loose, Evasive. I think this card is not that bad. When you play this character, chosen opposing character gets -3 attack this turn. Really cool. I don't think it will have a lot of play in Ruby. In Ruby Sapphire. I would just put it into D tier, but it's not a bad card at all. Actually, just not the right time at the moment. Then we have Vanellope von Schwitz, another racer card. I will just put all those racer cards into the C tier because I just think they are all together really playable, but at the moment they're just not it. Then we have Brutus. During your turn, when this character is banished, if one of your character was damaged this turn, gain 2 lore. Interesting card, but I don't really see a lot of play here. Then we have the Dodo. This character gets +1 for each damage on him. Also not that good, just put into D tier. Then we have the Alice. When you play this character, you may ready chosen damaged character of yours. They can't quest for the rest of the turn. So you can sing, make them ready, or like quest, make them ready, sing. That's really interesting, but I will still put it into C tier. Now we have Lumineer, and while you have an item card in your discard, this character gains Evasive. I think this card is really good. Not just, you will see the later on shift option for this, but I think this card has like a lot of potential. Next up we have Gaston. When you play this character, you may banish one of your items to give chosen character +2 this turn. It's not a bad card, not a bad effect, but just put it into C. Then we have Tap Mushu, untap it, chosen character gains Rush this turn. Really interesting, I like the effect. 2-3 is a bit much, so I'll just put it into C tier. Then we have Cricky. While you have 2 or more other exiled characters in play, this character gets +2 lore. I think in like an Ruby Steel deck this card could be played, but I think I will just put it into C tier. Then we have another Vanilla. I will just put those into the D tier. Then we have Figaro. Opposing items enters play exerted. Don't think this has like a lot of value. Then we have Thumba. Chosen character gets +3 this turn. Also not that bad, but also not really good. Then we have Wreck-It Ralph. When you play this character, chosen character, racer character gets +4 attack this turn. I'll just put it again into C tier. Then we have a really interesting card here. Whenever you play a character with 5 or more, you may exert them to gain 2 lore. I think this is really interesting. I think you will see why. I will just put it into B tier at the moment, because you will see afterwards why. But for sure, you can like do a lot of combos with Tinkerbell. The only reason that's like 1/1, that's why it's not such a good card, but I think it's better than most of the cards. Then we have Lilo, a 4/4, also the next legendary. During your turn, if you played 3 or more actions this turn, you may play this character for free. So Ruby Sapphire is getting more and more cards they're allowed to play for free. I think that's like a big problem, and you will see why later on. But when you play this character, you can also ready chosen character. They can't quest for the rest of this turn, which is not that bad, because you can just play Maui Shark out and next turn you can maybe sing once with him, play 2 actions like for example Visions and Develop Your Brain, play her out for free, make him again ready, attack a card, get one of those 3 songs you played this turn from the discard pile into your hand again, and you keep going. I think this card is really strong. I will put this into S tier. I think Ruby Sapphire has a lot of new things they can play with in this set. Next up we have Tap the LeFou. Tap, banish, show one of your items, and chosen opponent loses 1 law and you gain 1 law. Nothing special, you just put it into D tier. Then we have the Lumineer, which is really strong. Before there was a errata where he has evasive and ward. I think this was a big mistake. I'm really happy they fixed that, because if this card would have evasive and ward, this would be a game-breaking card here, because it's a shift free, 4/3, evasive, and whenever one of your items is banished, this character gets +1 this turn. So you can combine this card, for example, with Royal Tantrum. If you don't know what this card does, you are basically removing all your items and discarding them, removing them from the field, and you are allowed to draw a card for each item removed that way. So let's say you have 5 items, you're removing everything of it. This card gets +5 lore. It's like a Tamatoa, just a bit different. So I think this card will be placed instead of the Tamatoa if it doesn't get reprinted in the next set. So I think this card is an S tier card. It's one of the strongest cards in this set. Definitely big. Next up we have the Coachman, 2/2/2. While 2 or more characters of you are exerted, this character gets +2 and gains evasive. I think it's nothing special for this deck. I'll just put it into D tier. Nothing interesting here, but what interesting is the Mulan, because she's 4 unink, 3/3, has reckless, and during your turn this character gains evasive. And now comes the big thing: this character can challenge ready characters, so your evasive characters are also not longer saved by the red steel decks. So I will put this into A tier because I think the card is really strong, but the real banger here is Mushu, the worst nightmare. It's a 4/6 shift 4, and now comes the thing: whenever you play another character, they gain rush, reckless, and evasive. So they are like really strong. And the thing here is, if you have the 5-cost Mushu on board, they're also gaining resist and so on. Definitely an S tier card here. In red steel, this card will be played a lot. Next up we have Mr. Snobs. During your turn, when this character is banished, you may draw a card. Interesting. I don't think it's bad. Actually, it's just a 3/3/3 and it draws your card. I will basically just put this into B tier. It's a really good card. Not bad. Then you have the Friend Owl, 2/2/2, Quest for 2. I think it's nothing special here, just put it into D tier. Then we have Falin, evasive, and while you have a character in play with more attack than each opposing character, this character gets +2 lore. It's basically a bad fleet rider, I would say. I would just put it into, I don't know, maybe C tier because it has evasive, so it's really good. Now comes a really interesting card, and that's what I talked about before with the Tinkerbell. It's the Prince John here. Costs 3 unink, and when another opponent plays a character, deal 1 damage to this character. So what you can do with him is like get those damage counters in and try to like move them with Bell and so on. So I think this card is really cool. I think costing 3 is like, that's the reason why I'm thinking about even putting it to A tier. I think I will just put it into B tier because it's an unlink. Then we have Nothing We Won't Do. Sync together 8 and ready all your characters for the rest of this turn. They take no damage from challenges and can't quest. So basically, if you're seeing this with a Scar and a Maui, their board is done, definitely. That's really strong. I will put it into... I think I will put this even into A tier because it's also inkable and you can play it easily. Yeah, really interesting cards we have in red this set. Then we have Get Out, 6 unink and banish chosen character, then return an item card from your discard to your hand. I think that's also really cool. It's just a better Dragonfire, I would say. But it's unink, so I will just put it into C tier here. Next up we have Light the Fuse. Deal 1 damage to chosen character for each exerted character you have in play. Just costs 1, is unink. I think this card is really good. I will put it into A tier. It has a lot of potential. I think red still got like a really big push in this set. Then we have Twitter Patted. Chosen character gains evasive until the start of your next turn. Interesting. I just put it into C tier. I don't think it will see a lot of play. Now comes a really interesting card. Most Everyone's Mad here. Gain lore equal to the damage on chosen character, then banish them. So you can like have 4 damage on a character, for example on Elsa, gain 4 lore and then remove her. I think it's not a bad card, but being 7 and unning is like a lot. Then we have the Sword of Sanshu. You can tap it and tap one of your characters to ready chosen character. They can't cast for the rest of this turn. Also not a bad card. But the thing is that you have to tap this item and you have to tap another character is the thing that's making it for me a D tier. Now we come to the blue cards. Spoiler alert, they're also pretty strong cards in here. You will see why later on, but first of all, we have the Mouse Queen, a free 6 character, nothing special, just a vanilla card. Then we have Sir Pellinor. Whenever this character quests you, other character gains support. Also nothing special here. Then you have like another puppy support. When you play this character, you may give chosen puppy resist 1. Then you have like a 1-drop Olaf. Chosen opponent gets -1 attack this turn, also nothing special here. You have like an Anna. When you play this character, if you have a character named Elsa in play, you may put the top card of your deck into your Inkwell face down and exert it. I think it's not a bad card, I'll just put it into C tier though, because the stats are not that good. Then we have Wasabi and support. Again, nothing special here. We just put it in the D tier. Then we have the Go-Go Tamago shift option. When you play a Floodborn character on this card, you may put the top card of your deck into your Inkwell face down and exert it. So, if you're able to shift the big Go-Go Tamago on this Go-Go Tamago, you have 2 effects. You can dual let it go, and you can put the top card of your deck into your Inkwell face down and exert it. So I think that it's really okay if you are able to pull it off. But I would just put it into C tier. Then we have the new Hiram. You can tap this character, choose and discard an item, and draw 2 cards. I don't know if it will see a lot of play. It's a cool effect. I will just put it in the B tier, because maybe it will be playable sometime. Then we have tap this card, banish 1 of your items, draw a card. Another card like this, just a bit worse, I guess. Then we have Jasmine. When you play this character, you may give another chosen character resist 1. It's interesting, but like as a one drop, it's not really good. Then we have Little Sister. When you play this character, you may remove up to 1 damage from chosen character. Also nothing special here. Then we have Adelia Bonfamille. 2 free. Also just a vanilla, just put it into D tier. Then we have Nani. You can tap this character, and another chosen character gains resist 2. And your character's named Lilo gains support. Nothing special here, just put it into D tier. Then we have a really interesting card, it's the Stitch. When you play this character, each opponent puts the top card of the deck into their Inkwell face down and exert it, which is really good for your opponent, but not for you. At the start of your turn, if this card is in your discard, you may choose and discard a card with ink to play this character for free, and he enters play exerted. So he's like a zombie Lilo here, but I don't think this card is really good. I'll just put it into C tier, just because the artwork is so cool. Next up we have Ratigan. I think this is a really good card. It's a 8 inkable. It has ward. It's 6/7, and at the end of your turn, if you didn't put any cards into your inkwell this turn, banish this character. So you have to ink every turn. I think this is sometimes really hard, but if this character stays out for 1 turn, you like already won. If you're like able to quest with him twice, you already got 8 lore. So I will just put it into B tier. It's nothing really good, but also not really bad. Then you have Offer, a 4 inkable 6/6. Skip your turns, draw step. This is really interesting. So you're technically losing a lot of value with him, but you have a 6/6 as quest for free. I don't think it's worth on turn 4 to have this. Just put into C tier, but could see some play. Then we have Bernard, and when you play this character, if you have an ally character in play, you may draw a card. Again, nothing special here. Then we have Aladdin, who is Bodyguard, 1/9, and whenever one of your ally characters quests, you may move up to 2 damage from this character. Also nothing special here. Then we have Jasmine, a shift 2, which is really good, and whenever this character quests, look at the 3 top cards of your deck. You may reveal an ally character and put it into your hand. So cool search engine. We'll put it in C tier. Then we have Roquefort, and whenever this character quests, you may put chosen item into its player inkwell face down and exert it. I think this card is really not that bad. I think I will just put it into B tier. Then we have another vanilla. I will just put it into D tier. Geppetto, whenever this character quests, you may choose and discard any number of item cards to gain 1 lore for each item card discarded this way. Also not that bad, but the thing here is you have to discard them from your hand. So I just put it here into C tier because I think the Lumion is just way better. Then we have a sync together. Remove up to 3 damage from any number of chosen character. All opposing character gets -3 this turn. It's not that bad, but I don't think you need this in the blue deck at the moment. Then we have pouncing practice. Chosen character gets -2 attack this turn. Chosen character of yours gains evasive, also not that bad. Just put it into C tier because it's like really cheap. Now comes the big part of this set and the blue cards. Down in New Orleans, it's a song for 6. So you can sing it with Maui Shark, for example. Then you are allowed to look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You may reveal a character item or location card with cost 6 or less and play it for free. Again, blue is getting so many cards they're allowed to play for free. It's insane. Then you put the rest of the bottom of your deck in any order. It's not that relevant, but the thing here is that you are like allowed to play the Magdak Mana for free. You are allowed to play a second Maui Shark for free. You are allowed to play a Tamator for free. You're allowed to play so many cards for free in this deck, and I think this is insane. It will be an S+ tier. I think it's busted. I think it's broken. Then we have the television set, another puppy support. Look at the top card of your deck. If it's a puppy character, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. Otherwise, put it in the bottom of your deck. Nothing special, you just put it into D tier. You can banish one of your other items, put the top card of your deck in your Inkfell, face down excited. Sally, it's like Unink. It's a bit like a fishbone. Interesting here. But I'll just put it into the D tier here. Then we have the Atlantic Crystal. You can untap this, tap this, pay 2, chosen character gains resist 2 and support until the start of your next turn. Also not bad. It's inkable, you can play it, not bad. Now we're coming to the steel cards. We're starting with a vanilla 777 quest for free. I don't think this card is any relevant. Then we have the Bobby, it's a bodyguard for 2, also not really good. Then we have a vanish character and magic carpet. Your other illusion character gain challenger 1. This is not bad. Put it into C tier. It also quests for 2. Then we have Prince Ahmed. When you play this character, you may exert chosen prince's character. I think the stats are not that good for this effect. We'll just put it into D tier. Then we have dump truck. When you play this character, you may deal 1 damage to chosen character. This card would be awesome if it wouldn't be like 1 unink 0-1, so just put it into D tier. Then we have our Captain Hook, really cool card. I just don't think it will see play right now, but later on, of course. Then we have General Lee. It's a resist +1, 3, 2, 4, nothing special. Just put it in the C tier. Nothing what I think will break the meta right here. Then we have Monterey Jack, another bodyguard, just put it into D tier. Nothing special here. Now we have the Genie. During a turn, this character gains evasive, has 3-4. Stats are really good. I will put this actually into B tier because I think the stats are really good and giving evasive is always great. Having evasive is always great in your turn. And of course it's a Genie, so you can also play like in Jafar wheel decks, of course. Then we have the Toby Turtle. While this character is exerted, he gains resist 1. Nothing special here. You have Ariana, 555, another vanilla card. Then we have Zipper. If you have a character named Monterey Jack in play, you pay 1 less to play this character. During your turn, this character gains evasive, nothing special here. Then the Khan, also vanilla card, I wouldn't play. Then we have Winnie, a free unink 1-4. During the opponent's turn, whenever one of your other characters is banished, you gain 1 lore. I think it's not that bad, but I don't think it's really good. So I would just put it into C tier. Now comes the Yago. While you have another exerted character in play, this character can't be challenged. I think it's funny because it's giving everyone else bodyguard basically. And yeah, I think it's B tier card. It's not bad. I think the mechanic has a lot of potential here. Then we have, I think it's one of the coolest cards in this set. Like from the artwork, it's Nathaniel Flint, and when he's a storybound villain, alien, pirate, captain, so basically everything you can think of. You can't play this character unless an opposing character was damaged this turn. I think it's hard to play him on turn 2, so he's not really strong. I'll still put him into C tier because maybe there will be later on some potential play. So yeah. Then we have Santorini. When you play this character, you may deal 3 damage to chosen character. 7 cost is just a bit too expensive here at this point. Then we have a really interesting Namari. When you play this character at the start of your turn, you may draw a card and then choose and discard a card. So you can basically search through your whole deck with this card, because you just, if it stays, you can just like filter out the cards you need and discard the cards you don't need. And this character gets +1 for each card in your discard, which is really cool. I think this card is overall really great, and you're basically drawing 2 cards and discarding 1 in your draw phase, so that's really amazing. I would just put it into A tier. Then we have Mickey Mouse, 10 unink, 10/10, quests for 5. Has bodyguard, and when this character is banished, deal 5 damage to each opposing character. I think if you can somehow pull off this combo to like play the small Mickey, remove a character, and then play out this big Mickey will be a big problem for your opponent. I will, and I think that's a hot call, put it into B tier. I don't think it's a bad card. You could be able to pull it off. Not right now, but later on in the meta for sure. And later on, when the whole rotation starts, this card could be played a lot. Then we have the Stitch, Alien Troublemaker. During your turn, whenever this character banishes another chosen character in a challenge, you may draw a card and gain 1 lore. I think it's not bad, but I think you will pull this off once and then it's gone. Then we have Desperate Plan. If you have no cards in your hand, you draw until you have 3 cards in your hand. Otherwise, choose and discard any numbers of cards, then draw that many cards. I think it's really a really cool card you can play. You can like basically destroy your whole hand and draw any number new. So you can filter off your deck, which is really good. I will put this into A tier. I don't think this card is that bad, but there is a card I wanted to say it right now, and that's this one. That is, I think, way better. If I think about Green Steel, this card is a real banger because it's Beyond the Horizon. Sync together 7. It's 7 unink. Choose any number of players. They discard their hand and draw 3 cards each. If you're able to sing this with Ursula twice, and your opponent had like 5 cards in hand, he discards 5. Let's say you have Prince John out, so you are waiting to trigger the effect a second time. You're doing it again, so he has again 3 cards in his hand, dropping 3 again. Now he discarded 8 cards. You can also choose yourself, so you can maybe, if you don't have any cards in hand, maybe 1, you can discard that 1 card, draw 3, and then pull the trigger effect from Prince John and draw another 8 cards. And in this 8 cards, you can like get, for example, a Sudden Chill, a Hypnotize, something like this, just to remove the rest of your opponent's hand. And I think this card is S tier. I think this card is broken if you play it in the right deck. I will definitely try it out. Maybe I'm not right about this, but I think this is an S tier card. I see a lot of potential, and yeah. Next we have a Quick Shot, deal 1 damage to chosen character, draw cards. Actually, nothing special, just put it in the D tier. And last but not least, I think we have the Hamster Ball. You can tap this, pay 1, chosen character with no damage, gains resist 2 until the start of your next turn. Don't think this card will see a lot of play. So I think that's it. Here is the tier view. We see we have a lot of C tier, of course, a lot of D tier, a lot of fillers we have, but we also got a lot of new cards you can play. Most of them are tramps. I think those tramps will be doing a lot. Also those red-blue stuff. I think red-blue, the tramp, and of course like Jafar. Let's go through it. I think tramp got a lot of support. A new deck type is created with this Jafar. Blurple got even more support with the bell and this one here, where you can like, it's let it go for turn 3. Then you have a Lilo that's getting played out for free and you can ready a chosen character again. Amazing. You can pull off so many combos with this. You have Lumiere, a new card that could create a new way of red blue winning with items. You have Mushu that supports even more in red steel. So I think the big winners here are the tramps, red, blue, and a bit of steel, I would say. Of course, this card got also some support. We will see how many discard spells will be in the rotation afterwards, but yeah. I hope you guys liked it. Leave a like, subscribe, tell me your favorite card in this new set, and see you guys soon. Bye!